Okay. Okay. Dan Quinn might be ready to go big game hunting. Josh Harris, get that checkbook out because you're going to need it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Full Command Show. My name is Grant Mitchell, back with you all to discuss the Commanders having an interest in the one and only Brian Flores for their defensive coordinator vacancy. Yes, arguably the top defensive mind in the NFL is at the forefront of the Commanders' considerations as they look to fill out their roster and their staff for the upcoming season. Now, the Commanders have not officially requested an interview with the Vikings just yet, and I'm actually not entirely sure they would need to since he is out of contract. I would assume his contract probably runs out in summer, so maybe they still need to request an interview anyway before they talk to him. But the point is, there is a report that the Commanders are looking to speak to Brian Flores and get him in the building so they can talk about him leading their defense next year. Also, we got some more information about Kliff Kingsbury and his departure and the reasons behind it. And then a fun note on Jayden Daniels and why he's going to be in Saudi Arabia with Tom Brady. So yes, we're going to jump into all that in just a moment, guys. But before we do, make sure you hit the like button if you're enjoying the content. I don't know what it is, but I've really enjoyed recording videos the last month or so. It's just been a bunch of fun. So like the video if you enjoy the content. Hype button helps as well. Subscribe if you're new around here. And as always, guys, this is your channel too. So go to the comment section, leave me your thoughts because I always want to know what you guys are thinking. So let's start this off with Kliff Kingsbury, and then we'll get to the meat and potatoes with Brian Flores. So there was a guest appearance from Peter Schrager on the Pat McAfee show yesterday, which was Tuesday. And he said, quote, Kliff was more than fine to no longer be the offensive play caller in that building anymore. He loves Jayden and he loves Dan Quinn. I think it was just time. It actually ended on good terms with him and Dan Quinn. So there was a follow-up question from AJ Hawk and basically said, if everything's good, why are they parting ways? If everyone's happy to move on, everybody liked each other, why are they leaving? Here's what Peter Schrager said, quote, I think they're looking to get more into a different scheme and really mirror what they did in San Francisco and some of that stuff Adam Peters brought over, end quote. So me reading between the lines here, this feels like confirmation of things I've been saying on this channel for a long time now, ever since this news came out. Schrager specifically said things ended on good terms between Kliff and DQ and Kliff and Jayden. He did not say things ended on good terms between Kliff and Adam Peters. Keep in mind, Diana Rossini's report, which would have been, I believe, Saturday, so a day before the Week 18 game, if I'm getting that timeline correct, her report was there was a disconnect between Kliff and AP. We also got another indication the team is looking to move to that San Francisco style of offense, that West Coast style of offense, which we know is not Kliff Kingsbury's forte, which could get people and Josh Connerly and Ben Sinnott. There just might be more opportunities for them to shine in that style of offense, and it might keep Jayden more well protected. So this does feel like, again, I mean, he confirmed that Kliff and DQ and Jayden, everybody went out on good terms, but he omits AP. There's the thing about the Commanders wanting to go to a new style of offense. It feels like something we've been saying for a very long time here. So round of applause, thumbs up, congratulations to everybody. It seems like we passed the test of can we figure out what is not being told to us. On to Brian Flores. A fun report from Ian Rappaport, who I've said this before. This guy should hit me up for branding advice. Ian Rappaport. Call it the Rapper Report. Get a podcast. You change your Twitter handle, the Rapper Report. It's so clean. But a report from Ian Rappaport, who said the Commanders are hoping to interview Brian Flores for the defensive coordinator job. His contract is up in Minnesota, so pretty soon he's effectively going to be a free agent just for coaches. Now, JP Finley spoke with Pro Football Talk yesterday, who said they, quote, weren't surprised by the possibility of a lateral move. That's actually a bit of a surprise because most of the time, coordinators or just coaches in general don't want to make lateral moves because they're already in a situation. If they picked it, if they chose to go there, then they're already in a situation that's good for them. In Brian Flores' case, the Vikings defense has been pretty excellent, so why would you make a lateral move? Well, my guess is because he is a free agent. So a lateral move Might not be upgrading in status, but might be upgrading in perks and benefits and salary and things of that nature. Now back to what Pro Football Talk said while talking with JP Finley. The Vikings are confident he will be back if he doesn't land a head coaching job. On this note, Kevin O'Connell, Vikings head coach, said at his press conference yesterday that assistant head coach Mike Pettine is retiring, which is unfortunate for us because that means Flores could get the assistant head coach title in Minnesota. So this potential move makes all the sense in the world, yet it also makes no sense. So I'll start with experience. That's something the Commanders have made very clear they want. They were fine to go young on offense, but every report you can find says they want experience on the defensive side. Well, Brian Flores, although he's not the oldest man in the world, in fact, I would assume he's in his 40s. I was Googling Brian Flores' age. He's 44 years old. Okay. So yes, he's not an old man by any stretch, but he has a ton of experience, and he is productive as hell. His career began with the Patriots in 2008, at which time Adam Peters was in the Patriots scouting department, so they crossed paths there. Flores' big jobs include the Dolphins head coaching job, which he actually got before he was ever a coordinator, which I found pretty interesting. He's with the Dolphins from 2019 to 2021, and then he's the Vikings defensive coordinator from 2023 to the present. So let's look at that year by year. In 2019, Miami's defense was dead last in EPA per play and scoring defense. The next year, they leap all the way to 7th in EPA per play and 4th in scoring defense. In 21, they are 8th in EPA per play and 15th in scoring defense. He basically gets fired for benching Tua and declaring that he wasn't the guy, and he was right. If they had just taken his advice, they never would have gotten rid of Tua. They never would have given Tua that huge contract that they now want to get rid of, and they never would have gotten rid of maybe the best defensive mind in football. So that's a win for Brian Flores, even though he was fired. In 2023, the Minnesota Vikings, they're 12th in scoring, 17th in EPA per play. In 2024, they're 2nd in EPA per play and 4th in scoring defense. And in 2025, they're 3rd in EPA per play and 7th in scoring defense. So all of that's in the bucket of why does this make sense? Experienced, dude is awesome, just flat out. So why could it not make sense? The reports have also indicated that the Commanders want to bring in someone who is familiar with Dan Quinn's style of defense. And Flores is anything but. First and foremost, there's nobody else like this man. Constant pre-snap movement. It's almost like how offenses send players in motion to manipulate looks and leverages and angles and things of that nature. That's what Brian Flores' defense do, and Jonathan Gannon's actually do this a little bit too, and you're seeing it start to spread more and more. But players are just walking all over the field. We're showing in the double A. It looks like we're mugging up there and we're bringing a man blitz, and then all of a sudden we're gonna have our slot corner drift back into the post safety slot. So now it looks like maybe we're giving you a cover 3. And then we're going to drop our linebackers out, so it's actually a cover 2 at the snap. He does all sorts of crazy stuff all the time. The pre-snap motion, the post-snap rotations, it's a constant blend of man and match and zone, and he is so aggressive in a way that it's nothing like what Washington fans have seen since Greg Williams. So it's nothing like Dan Quinn's style of defense. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. And I think Dan Quinn's style of defense, our defense is bad. Dan Quinn's style of defense isn't necessarily bad. I mean, the Cowboys had the number 1 defense in the NFL when Dan Quinn was their defensive coordinator. So let's not lie and say that, oh, everything Dan Quinn is awful, but it is very different, and it contradicts the reports that we've gotten. So what would it take for this deal to get over the line? Well, it's unclear how much Brian Flores makes right now, and we're going to have to outbid the Vikings. We just are, because he's there already, so he's comfortable. He's with a phenomenal head coach in Kevin O'Connell. So there's job security because the Vikings are not firing Kevin O'Connell, and Kevin O'Connell is not firing Brian Flores. So there's job security, there's continuity, and the Vikings have a better defense than the Commanders do. So we have to outbid them. Vic Fangio or Steve Spagnuolo right now are probably the highest paid defensive coordinators in the league. I say that because we don't have an official table that shows how much everybody makes. Now, Fangio reportedly made about $4.5 million annually with the Dolphins in 2023, so go from there. Spags also reportedly signed a deal worth around $5 million per year after Super Bowl, I don't know Roman numerals, 58 Yeah, it's got to be, because this is Super Bowl 60 this year, right? So it's got to be 58 after Super Bowl 58. Joe Witt Jr.'s contract details were never revealed, so we don't know what he got unless I'm wrong, unless one of you guys can find it, then please let me know in the comment section below. I looked around and I did not find it, but I'm only a man. I'm only a man with a keyboard. If you know, let me know down below. But I could not find Joe Witt Jr.'s contract details. We do know Kliff Kingsbury signed a 3-year deal worth $18 million, so $6 million per year, which was top of the market. It was him and Chip Kelly, believe it or not, who was already fired. So those were top of the market deals. So the Commanders have shown a willingness to reset the coordinator market, but I'm sure basically every team out there that needs a defensive coordinator would do the same for Flores. And that includes Minnesota, who technically needs a DC because their guy Flores is out of a contract. So not only are you probably going to have to reset the market, but you're going to have to outbid everyone else that's also trying to reset the market. Even then, Flores knows that he will know that he's going to have a tall task ahead of him working with this group of players. Keep it in mind, we do have a lot of money in free agency, and the NFL draft are ahead, so the defense could change a lot. But even still, you're going to have to give him the assistant head coaching title, you're going to have to give him all the money, and you're just going to have to let him pull the strings on the defense. He's going to be the puppet master. One of our issues right now is our roster is very thin, and that's years and years of bad drafting and bad development, right? Well, we look at these players like Mike Sainristil and Johnny Newton and Jordan McGee and these guys on the defense who they were productive college players, or they have a physical profile, or they've had flash moments in the NFL, but they can't just quite consistently get there. Part of us getting a great defensive coordinator is not just calling the right plays. We need our young players developed. And I think this is probably the most underrated component of this entire conversation. And I don't normally go around looking for other Commanders guys' thoughts. No disrespect to them whatsoever. I'm saying that because I don't want to just repeat their thoughts on this channel. So I genuinely don't know if this is a big talking point or not. I can tell you I haven't really seen it written anywhere online. But as much as we need the right plays and we need people to understand what they're supposed to do, hiring Brian Flores is a move to make sure your draft picks are developed. Because right now, a lot of them, the vast majority of AP's draft picks are question marks. Because I don't know what they are. Have they been amazing? No. Does that mean they're busts? No. It means they've been in bad defenses with old players around them. And that can be good for mentorship, but as far as just actually getting on the field, the old guys block the slots. And then when the young guys are out there, they're running around with their hairs on fire because they haven't gotten reps and they don't know what to do. And they're young players trying to adapt to the NFL. So if this is possible at all, the Brian Flores thing, you bite the bullet, you pay the man what he wants, you give him full autonomy over the defense, you let him run wild. That fixes so many things for this team. And again, it ensures that your draft picks are developing, which is the biggest thing the Commanders need right now. Before I get out of here, some fun news. And I'm sure some people are not going to like this. I can already tell this is just going to be a reason to nitpick and say, why is he not focused on football? It was revealed on Tuesday evening at an event, or during an event in Los Angeles for Fanatics, that Jayden Daniels will participate in the Flag Football Classic in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia on March 21st. Tom Brady will be quarterbacking another one of the teams, of which there are 3. The third quarterback has not been announced yet. Now, people are going to slam Jayden and say, hey, why don't you get in the weight room? Why don't you get the VR goggles on? I think it's cool that Brady has really taken a liking to Jayden. They're both involved with Fanatics. Jayden turned down endorsements to focus on football, so I have no doubt that he's not just looking for money grabs anywhere he can get it. And I'll be honest, I don't know the level of competition that's going to beat this flag football thing. The Flag Football Classic. I have no idea what the level of competition is going to be. If it's good, he's basically doing glorified 7-on-7 drills, which is good because he's be playing football where he's not really supposed to be scrambling around all that much. That's good. He's getting reps. He's also going to be hanging out with Tom Brady for the entire thing, which caught me crazy, but I just don't feel like that's a bad thing. Even if they're not directly talking X's and O's, even if they're not breaking down film, just being around him and observing his mannerisms and hearing stories and asking questions when the moment is right, I don't see how it could be a bad thing. But It's something cool that's going on for Jayden. Again, it's March 21st in Saudi Arabia. I will probably end up watching it if Jayden's there. And honestly, we'll probably end up talking about it on this channel. I don't know. Hopefully everything goes fine. We don't need any sprained ankles or anything. But guys, that's going to do it for this video. I do appreciate y'all joining me. A lot of big topics in this video. Jayden going international. Brian Flores potentially on his way to DC. Kliff Kingsbury and Peter Schrager essentially confirming what happened in that whole fallout. So jump to the comments. Let me know your thoughts and everything. As always, like the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you are new around here. You guys have been absolutely killing it lately, and I deeply appreciate each and every one of you. I'm head out of here. I appreciate y'all joining me, and I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day.